on.
Hello and welcome to Time Tunnel TV. I'm your host Kirsty Podlaski, and today we're going back to 1992, the year where a certain someone reached the peak of her career, having sold millions of records and making her acting debut in one of the year's biggest films. That's right, today we're going to be speaking to the singing superstar Whitney Houston. Also, on today's show, we'll be talking all things Christmas, with the new Christmas Day TV guide being released and the top children's toys of 1992 being announced. But before all that, performing her song I Have Nothing from the new movie The Bodyguard, please welcome the incredible Whitney Houston.
All my colors for you. Take my love, I'll never ask for too much. Just all that you are and everything that you do. I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go where you don't follow. I won't hold it back again. This passion inside can't run from myself. There's nowhere to hide. But don't make me close one more door. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you dare. Must I imagine you there? Don't walk away from me. I have nothing, nothing, nothing if I don't have you. You see through right to the heart of me. You break down my walls with the strength of your love. I never knew love like I've known it with you. Will a memory survive? One I can hold on to. I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go
What a voice! I Have Nothing comes from the Bodyguard soundtrack, which is available to buy right now. Whitney will be performing another song at the end of the show, but we'll be talking to her in a few minutes. But before that, let's take a look back through her outstanding career.
Whitney Elizabeth Houston was born in 1963 in Newmark to Cissy and John, a gospel singer and an army serviceman. She was born into a musical family with her cousins Dee Dee and Dionne Warwick embarking on singing careers, and her honorary aunt being successful singer and songwriter Aretha Franklin. Her love for music flourished while attending New Hope Baptist Church, where she performed in the junior gospel choir. Coming into her teenage years, she began touring through clubs where her mother was performing. After being spotted while singing in a nightclub, she signed to Arista Records in 1983. 2 years later, her self-titled debut album was released, and her career took off from there.
Ever expect the phenomenal success that you're enjoying now?
You know, I didn't expect anything. I had no idea that it was going to be as major as it is, but I'm very pleased about it. I sure am glad it did happen. I am.
It produced 3 consecutive #1 singles, Saving All My Love For You, How Will I Know, and The Greatest Love of All. The album was a worldwide success, selling more than 12 million copies in the US alone. It set the record as the biggest selling debut album by a solo artist in history. She was nominated for 3 Grammys and won the Best Female Pop Vocal Performance.
Can you believe this? Oh my goodness.
Whitney Houston was now a household name, and with the world eagerly anticipating her second album, 2 years after her debut, she released Whitney, and because of her millions of fans around the world, it went straight to #1. The album also produced another 4 #1 singles. This meant Whitney had 7 consecutive #1 hits, making her the first artist to do so. Whitney was nicknamed The Voice due to her incredible vocal ability, which can be heard in each and every one of her live performances.
But no other man gonna do. So I'm saving all my love for you.
Is that the happiest time of your life when you're out there in the middle of the stage singing somewhere?
It's one of the joys of my life. It's one of the things I look back on and say, oh God, I remember that moment. I remember that time. What a nice time that was, you know. I get a lot of pleasure out of singing on stage and the people, the response of the people. I love that. That is a performer's, you know, dream, you know, to stand on stage and to sing and have people enjoy it and take it in and take it home.
Whitney was asked to perform the American National Anthem for Super Bowl on January 27, 1991, singing in front of a record-breaking audience of 79 million viewers. It is known as one of her most iconic performances.
When I performed the Star Spangled Banner at Super Bowl 25, if you were there, you could feel the intensity. And I just felt like this is the moment. And the overwhelming love coming out of the stands was incredible.
Not only was the whole world obsessed with her music, everybody wanted to know about her personal life too, especially her relationships. She met Bobby Brown, an R&B singer, at the Soul Train Music Awards in 1989, and the two became a couple soon after.
Personally, we should say, too, that you've announced that you're going to get married to Bobby Brown.
Because everyone wanted to know about the relationship, Whitney revealed that it was difficult to deal with at times.
So hard, difficult, you know, with you know, the media, you know, sensationalizing your life and what, you know, seems to be to us a very normal, you know, relationship and situation. No, not to the Inquirer.
After 3 years together, the two got married in July 1992. Also in 1992, Houston made her acting debut starring as Rachel Marin in The Bodyguard alongside Kevin Costner. The film was a box office hit, and the soundtrack reached #1 all around the world.
Nothing could prepare you for a movie. I mean, straight out, nothing could possibly prepare you for a movie.
Impressed with her performance, all of Hollywood's directors are now after her to star in her own film. Now everyone's waiting to see what the world's biggest superstar is going to do next.
Such an incredible career she has had so far, and ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to introduce to you our star of the show, Whitney Houston, everybody. Whitney, that was absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Absolutely everyone in the studio was in awe of you singing then.
Thank you very much.
Now, I think it's safe to say that you have had an absolutely amazing career over the past 7 years. Do you feel like it's all gone really quick?
Yes, it's gone by very quickly. See, the thing is, like, it's been very busy and time just flies by, you know. So, yes, it has gone by very quickly.
So, looking back over the 7 years, over everything that we've just seen then, you know, what was your highlight?
Gosh, I think releasing all of my albums has been a special moment, really. And winning the Grammy Award for the Saving All My Life for You, that was the highlight of my...
One of my personal favourites, not gonna lie. Many a time in the shower, you know, thinking that I sound just like you when I don't at all. So considering, you know, The Bodyguard has been an absolutely massive hit, what was it that made you, you know, go into acting and choose to be a part of The Bodyguard?
Well, I've always wanted to act. I mean, I love performing arts, but I was offered different roles over the time. I just didn't feel they were right at the time. So when the Bodyguard came along, I thought I felt it resonated with me. So I thought I should go for it. And yeah. Of course, performing and singing will always be my passion, but I've always known that I wanted to act at some point, and I thought I'll give it a go.
So, you, like you said, you turned down a lot of acting jobs in the past, and I know you said that The Bodyguard resonated with you.
Yeah.
But what was it? Was it, you know, the director? Was it the character? You know, what individually was it about The Bodyguard?
It was the character, because it's something that I felt I could relate to a lot more. It was a singer who was stalked by crazed fans, and it's something that I've experienced personally in my life. So I felt that it was something a lot more appropriate for me to do. Yeah.
That's always the case. If there's ever a film about Beyonce, I think I could probably take over the, that character, that role.
Yeah, definitely you can.
Yes, or a Cameron Diaz kind of cameo, So, what was it like when you first stepped onto set? Because I know in studios like this, sets can be quite daunting if you're not used to it. So, what was it like?
Oh gosh, it was. I was incredibly nervous. I was panicking, but luckily, one of my co-stars, Kevin Costner, was available, was present, and he kept reassuring me, telling me, I know you can do it, I know you can do it. And the first day it was really nerve-wracking, but after that it became a lot more exciting and fun, so I really enjoyed it.
I love that you can just slide in Kevin Costner into a description.
Yes. Oh yes.
The only exciting thing that happens to me is my next door neighbour, Barbara. I might casually talk to her on a day-to-day basis, not Kevin Costner.
I'm sure she's just as fun.
I heard it was a lot of early starts, though, Whitney.
Oh gosh, yes, it was a lot of early starts. I used to live in the dark and film for like 14 hours a day. So most days I just wanted to stay in bed and not go anywhere. But hey, I had to do it. But I'm glad I'm really glad I did it. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. It's kind of like going into the studio, it being dark in the mornings, come out and it's dark at night.
Oh yeah, exactly, definitely, yeah.
So you got to perform and record a lot of different, songs for the soundtrack from The Bodyguard. So what would you say was your favourite song that you got to record and perform?
Oh, actually, I like all the soundtrack. I enjoyed doing all the songs. I like the soundtrack, and I don't think there's one that I can particularly choose that I like, but I enjoyed I Will Always Love You. Yes.
Power ballad.
Yes.
I Will Always Love You is an air grab kind of moment.
Oh, yes.
So you have a song currently sitting in the #1 UK charts.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Well,
how did it feel like to record it? Did you know that it was going to go to #1?
It's actually exciting because I didn't expect it at all. So it's quite amazing that it's gone to #1. It's not something I thought would happen at all. So it's quite exciting to see the way my fans react to it when they're listening to it.
Oh, of course. Yes. Well, I can tell you I've been listening to it over and over. But that is amazing. Thank you very much, Whitney. What a brilliant song everything is that she's been recording. We'll be talking to you again a little bit later, Whitney. But as it's Christmas just around the corner, we have Amy here with the latest news on all things festive.
Thanks, Kirsty. That's right. We're only a few days away from Christmas, meaning the BBC have announced their schedule, showing for the 24th and the 25th. There will be a chance to watch the classic Christmas film, Santa Claus, on BBC One at 3:35 p.m. on Christmas Eve. Then, on Christmas Day itself, the channel will be completely festive, with the Christmas Top of the Pops, Follow the Stars, and the Christmas Toy being shown throughout the morning. Not forgetting Her Majesty's Christmas message to the Commonwealth being broadcasted at 3 p.m. Be sure to pick up a copy of the TV Guide for the following list of the shows. And the present shopping has commenced, but the one thing that everyone is looking for are children toys. The #1 toy that children across the country are after in the new Thunderbirds Tracy Island, due to the show making a reappearance on television. There has been news reports that people are queuing out of the doors with parents eagerly trying to buy the £32 toy. The new Super Soaker water gun are also one of the most sought after presents this year. Having the ability to shoot water up to 50 feet has made children desperate over the toy. Over 2 million of them have already been sold. WWF figurines and Barbie's Dream House are also both high up on the list as well. All these toys are flying off the shelves, so retailers advise you get there quick to be in with a chance of getting one. Tomorrow night we find out who has claimed this year's Christmas #1. Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You is the current #1, but can it stick out for another week to become her first ever Christmas #1? Other contenders are Michael Jackson, Heal the World, and the previous #1 single Would I Lie to You by Charles and Eddie. Listen to Radio 1 on Sunday, the 20th of December, for 4 p.m. to hear the countdown. Now we're heading over to Becky, who has breaking news on the films.
The top 3 highest grossing films of 1992 have been revealed, with Aladdin reaching the top spot. The Bodyguard comes in second, followed by Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. The top movie grossed a total of $504 million worldwide. Whitney Houston's critically acclaimed acting debut, The Bodyguard, made $94 million less, still totaling a massive $410 million. And Home Alone's sequel made a global total of $359 million. We spoke to the director of The Bodyguard, Mick Jackson, about the news, and he expressed how overwhelmed he is with the huge positive reaction to his film. He then stated it was all down to singer-turned-actress Whitney Houston and her immense popularity that helped it to succeed. Whitney is now the talk of the town in Hollywood, with every director trying to get her for the biggest roles. That's all from me, back to the studio.
Thank you, Becky, and now back to you, Kirsty.
Thanks, Amy. Now, coming up, I'll be talking to Whitney Houston about what she got up to before she was famous. See you after the break.
Distort the odds of a turnaround.
Hey, do you remember living in high school?
Next to none.
She has a daughter. How do you know?
Hi.
So, you're my daughter.
I've got the backbone, the back way to escape the gun.
I just wanted to know who she was.
You didn't deserve to know that.
Climbing a tree with the mistletoe and not saving anyone.
You know, life moves pretty fast. You don't stop to look around. You might just miss it.
Dear John, your granddad couldn't give you this in person, but I know he would have wanted you to have it. Handle with care. Love, Mum.
Mum, I've shrunk the jumper. What do I do? AO.com. Got it.
Welcome back to Time Tunnel TV, and I'm here again with the beautiful Whitney Houston. Now, just before the break, we were discussing all things The Bodyguard, and I've just been told that The Bodyguard is the second highest grossing film of 1992. Now, Whitney, how amazing is that?
Oh, it's been so surreal. It's really truly been so surreal. It was my first acting job, and I'm just so glad that the public enjoyed it and the public loved it. Yeah.
Well, we did. Now, Whitney, you are a global megastar.
Thank you.
But I hear that you originally started off singing in gospel choirs. What inspired you to do that?
Well, my mom, Sissy, she was a gospel singer, and she kind of guided me to start singing in that direction, and that's how I became who I am, really.
So between gospel singing and record deal, what did you do in the middle of that?
Right. So my mom and I were performing in a club in New York, and I didn't know that one of the recording company representatives was present at the time, and I was just going ahead and performing, and he got Clive Davis, the manager of the company, to convince him to come and watch me perform, and that's how it happened. He signed me right there on the spot.
Amazing.
Yeah.
As easy as that?
Yeah.
So what happened after you were signed?
They took time really to kind of make sure that what I was what I was doing. Like they took time in kind of making sure that I had good records to start with and to go forward with, and I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
So now that you have multiple Grammys,
yes,
you have a big old film, you know, that's in the absolute box office hits. What's next on the agenda for Whitney?
Well, just see what the future brings, really. Probably produce more hits and be in a couple of more movies and see where it goes, and hopefully the public can continue enjoying it. Yeah.
I'm sure we will. Yeah. So you've been nominated for Grammys next year, including the Record of the Year, Album of the Year, all for The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Do you think any more Grammys wins are on the cards?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. So modest of you, so modest. Well, I think you have a very good chance of winning. Other than attending the Grammys, what plans do you have for the next year?
Well, just go on tour and travel around the world and perform some more and sing some more.
I like it. Well, everything sounds amazing, and it has been absolutely amazing talking to you, Whitney. Thank you so much for coming on the show. But where do you plan on celebrating the new year before we go?
Well, I will be with the family in New York, and we'll be just celebrating a successful year we've all had, and yes, and that's all.
I think that's the dream, going to New York around Christmas.
Oh, yes.
And New Year time
Yes.
to see the ball drop in the centre of Times Square. That would be absolutely magical.
Yes.
And are you going to take a break at the start of next year?
Maybe a short break, but I intend to carry on working and just working hard, really. Yes.
I like it. I like it. Thank you very much, Whitney.
Thank you.
It has been amazing talking with you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on the show. From all of us here, we hope that you have a wonderful Christmas, and I hope your successes continue all the way into the new year. You've got another special performance for us, right? Yes, thank you. All right, so we'll let you go and get ready for that. Thank you very much, Whitney.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Well, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe, well, help to make the season bright. Tiny little tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. But they know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys.
Come on.
There we go.
Right, James.
Good morning, my name is James Harvey and welcome to Time Tunnel TV. On the show today we'll be having an exclusive interview with Santa's head elf himself, Robin Startree, along with 2 exclusive live performances from Lewis and Ellie and Elle. But first, the news with Deanna.
Thanks, James. With the countdown to Christmas creeping closer to the end, last-minute shoppers are causing chaos in shopping centres all over the world. They have now been reported 2 murders in Birmingham, which are Christmas shopping-related incidents, and 5 people are currently in hospital with serious injuries from a stampede that took place in Primark. There are reports of complaints from elves claiming that they are being worked too hard over the holiday season, and if a pay rise is not given, they may go on strike next Christmas. Here's Isabel live in Santa's workshop to give us more on the story.
I'm here in Santa's workshop where there have been reports of mistreatment towards the elves. One elf has reportedly filed a complaint saying that workers are not provided with enough breaks or cookies, and therefore many of the elves are exhausted, some even collapsing or being sent home early. Another elf reported that they are not paid enough and he can only just afford to feed his family of 17 children and a wife. Sadly, this is a reality for many elves here in the grotto, but it may not be due to Santa himself. Some elves point the blame at the chefs, stating that they are lazy and haven't been making enough Christmas cookies to provide for all the elves. Whereas others are pointing fingers towards elves directly, saying it is their own responsibility to be ready for work every day. With it only being 6 days until Christmas, the atmosphere in here is incredible. And every elf I've seen is smiling ear to ear and spreading Christmas spirit. Let's hope this just settled quickly. Back to Deanna in the studio.
Thanks, Isabel. If you have an opinion on elves' rights or know an elf who is struggling, please share it with us on our Twitter page. Speaking of a low Christmas spirit, one New Yorker is his neighbours for having a continuous rendition of Jingle Bell Rock playing for 16 hours a day, and he is sick of it. His neighbour, Lisa, strongly disagrees and has labelled him as a Scrooge who needs to get a life. On a more positive note, more children than ever before have made it onto Santa's list this year. Well, that's it for the news today, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Deanna. Now, before we welcome our amazing guest, we have an exclusive interview from the exclusive first ever performance from the very talented Lewis Oldknow.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look in the 5 and 10, it's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your home front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that'll talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make 'em ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Sure, it's Christmas once more.
Incredible performance from Lewis there. Now, you've undoubtedly been all waiting for. Let's welcome to the show Robin Startree. Now, you're head elf at Santa's Workshop, are you not?
Yes, I am. I am head elf.
So, I think the main question that will be on everyone's mind is, what's Santa like, just as a person?
Oh, Santa's a close mate of mine. He's a pretty safe guy. He's legendary.
Yeah.
Everyone knows him. Only very few people get to actually spend time with him, but I can safely say he's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
Loves his pies.
Well, is he even a person? Because he's been alive for a really long time, but is he a real person, or is he an alien?
Only Santa knows what Santa is.
Yeah.
Everyone else just sees Santa as Santa. Santa is Santa, and that's the way Santa will always be.
Now, you're very busy in the lead up to Christmas, but what are you doing for the rest of the year round?
You know, just keeping up with the times, trying to figure out what new toys to make for the year after. It's all focused on Christmas Day. We have a week's break after Christmas, and then we're back on it again.
So you not get any? You never get any time. Do you not get like a holiday? Does Santa pay for elf holidays?
Well, we have one holiday, which is the holiday after Christmas, and that only lasts a week. But apart from that, no holidays. Disgraceful.
See that I feel like that leads on to the Elf Lives Matter movement.
Yes.
So because Santa really works you hard and has worked you hard for the last I don't know how long, and you've that some elves are saying that they might strike on Christmas next year.
That is true. People have been getting a bit fed up with the hours we're expected to work for the pay that we're getting.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that we're getting housing and other things like this for free if we do work for Santa. But at the same time, you know, I'm an elf. I like a bit of luxury.
Yeah.
What if I do want to buy a bath bomb? And, you know, a candle...
Could you not make yourself a bath bomb?
I suppose that when you put it like that, no, I will not make myself a bath bomb. I want more money.
But can you not? Elves are magic, are they not?
Yeah.
Because you can create any toys at all. Because if you're making Nerf guns, that requires plastic, and where are you getting plastic from? The North Pole.
I think you're thinking too much into this, James.
Possibly.
I think you're thinking too much into it. It's just, listen, it happens. That's all I have to say. It happens.
So, like, what was your role include being head elf?
Oh, all the important things that the other elves don't do.
Like what?
Like spending time with Santa.
Yeah.
I have to do that. The other elves don't have to do that.
Is spending time with Santa is that a chore? I thought you liked Santa.
No, it's not a chore at all. But I have to sacrifice my making time.
Yeah.
Spend time with Santa, and I do get paid for it, yeah, but
yeah.
I enjoy making things.
Well, now you know the reindeer.
Yeah.
That's not. Do you manage the reindeer at all, or is that a separate division entirely?
That's a separate division entirely.
But,
we have the making or toy makers, and you got the bakers or people who bake food, and then the reindeer staff who look after the reindeers. That's the 3 segments of being an elf.
But being head elf, you must get to spend a lot of time with the reindeer. So which
I'm more
one's your
just.
favourite?
I do have favourites, but I'm more of just a head elf of the toy making. But my favourite one is Rudolph.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming you knew this, but there's a revelation recently on Twitter that all the reindeer are actually female rather than being male.
Yeah.
Because in reindeer, the male reindeer shed their antlers in wintertime. And all the reindeer do have antlers whenever they've been photographed.
I think everyone needs to chill out. It's flying reindeer. Get over it. I think everyone needs to chill out about, like, you've created a Twitter petition to see whether it would be a male or a female. They're flying. Why is that the main priority? It isn't. That's all I have to say.
I think the people, it's really encaptured the magic of Christmas. Now, you know, well, you say you've got a baking department, but on Santa's yearly run, all those mince pies go missing. Now,
they go missing. We all know where they go.
Does Santa really eat all those mince pies?
He does eat them all, yeah. He said for like a week before Christmas, he'll just like starve himself and just eat like one Sunday roast a day.
Just one Sunday roast a day?
Yeah, he's usually 3, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Wow.
But then he does 1, so that means he has enough room to eat mince pies.
Does he ever have like any specialty meals? So like sometimes he'll have like a Chinese instead of as a kind of a bit of a zany, wacky Christmas.
No, he always turkey.
Just turkey every day? Does he not get bored?
No.
What do the elves get fed?
Just basic things: bread, rice, beans.
Sounds like slavery to me.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
Now, how long? In our chat before, and you said that elves live for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Now, how can you eat beans for 5,000 years?
Well, elves don't have particularly good taste buds, so it's pretty much a waste to give us good food, or at least that's what he says.
Yeah.
But so it's a waste to give us good food, so you might as well just give us the rubbish stuff, because we can't taste the difference anyway.
That's fair enough. Well, thank you. It's like all we've got time for now, but we'll be back with you after the break. We're just going to go for a quick ad, and we'll be back with Robin Starchery.
Another one.
I don't know if you could take it. No, you wanna see me naked. I wanna be
Rihanna's new hit single Wild Thoughts out now on iTunes.
Twinings chamomile tea. Sit down and relax.
Why won't you call me? Just give me your mouth. Won't you be straight with me? I can't hold it. Just give me the chance. I will win it all. Can you control this? See at night. you take cover, relax your lips. Long blonde hair, I don't know if you're even there.
Back from a quick ad break, we're going to go back to Robin Startree, head elf at Santa's Workshop. Now, as you were saying before, that I go back to you having living for 5,000 years. Now you must have a lot of children at that time. My sources say you have 37.
That is correct. I have 37 children.
And then your wife's name is Tiramisu. And how did you meet her?
Oh, you know, just the elf dating app.
Oh wow, there's elf dating.
Yeah, elflove.com, and
Yeah.
I just signed up. I was swiping.
Yeah.
I saw tiramisu and I thought, oh, I do love tiramisu.
Yeah. I like a good tiramisu.
I like
but
a good tiramisu.
I'm not sure I'd date a girl called tiramisu. It's like I wouldn't date a girl called cheesecake. Oh, I like cheesecake.
Actually, I'm not a massive fan of cheesecake, which is why I wouldn't date a girl called cheesecake. But I do love tiramisu.
Yeah.
So I'd probably, you know, I was just like, oh, I'll swipe right.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
And then what's the elf dating process like? Because you got 5,000 years. Surely you must take it quite slowly.
No.
Really?
No. We were married within a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
Went to Elf Vegas.
37 kids.
37 kids, yeah. You know, it's all right. There's quite a lot of them, but you just kind of send them out in the snow, and they'll eventually come back. Sometimes it takes a few days.
Yeah.
But they do always eventually come back.
Okay. Well, if you live for 5,000 years, then you've got 37 kids, and they're all living for 5,000 years. Do you not have a really bad problem with overpopulation?
No. Magic.
Oh, magic.
Yeah, magic. Yeah, you just like, you can build a really small house.
Yeah.
But it can fit lots of people in it.
But does some of them not have jobs?
Everybody has a job. You just got to think about how many people there are.
But if you're having 37 kids and everyone else is having like 37 kids,
who says everyone else is having 37 kids?
How large is the average elf family?
Probably about 100.
100?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm quite young, so.
Oh, okay. Well then, how did you get the position as head elf? Is it bloodline related, or did you just get picked?
Santa just liked me.
Oh.
I didn't complain that much compared to the rest of the elves.
Well, fair enough. I mean, eating rice and beans and having being one of 100 kids, you must not get much attention. So, I'm surprised you haven't complained much.
No, listen, the elf life is the best life.
Yeah.
I think there's no other way to live your life, really. What you guys do down here is all right, but I mean, it's just a bit pointless sitting at a computer all day.
Yeah.
So, and what we do, we just make presents. And that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Real people.
We're gonna, after a short documentary, we're gonna talk about Elf, the movie. Just a short documentary to learn more about his life.
The life of Robin Startree has been blissful from the start. He is the eldest of 54 children and inherited the job role of head elf from his father Marvin. He always stood out from the other child elves because he was a fast grower and developed his ears at a younger age. This, for Santa, made it clear to him that Robin was the man best suited for the job. Robin enjoyed his early years of life being Santa's go-to man, even accompanying him on Christmas Eve to deliver all of the presents. At the age of 83, Robin met the girl who was to be the love of his life, Tiramisu, during candy cane making. They organised the first date the following day at the North Pole ice rink, and the rest is history. They've been inseparable ever since, even managing to have 37 children and 96 grandchildren, with another on its way. Robin's eldest son, Nugget, is set to take over the workshop when his father retires. There is still so much more to this elf, and we can't wait for his legacy to continue.
Such a great documentary. Now, Robin, the film Elf, with Buddy, played by curly-haired man. How accurate is that to real life?
To be fair, it isn't that dissimilar to what we would usually get up to during the day. And naturally, human and elf swaps,
Mismatches,
actually, happen more often than you think. Usually one every 1,000 years or so. And you just
like
get someone
that one child that crawls into Santa's sack.
Yeah, and then they just start growing really big, and at that point, everyone's like, "Oh, it's not an elf."
Yeah.
But obviously, in this one, they didn't tell him.
Yeah.
And that kind of freaked him out a bit.
Do you like the humans, because they have such a like short lifespan compared to the rest of you? Is it possible to put up with them for 60 years, or do you send them back out into the world?
No, we usually always eventually send them back out into the world, because once they get to a certain height, they can't function like a regular elf usually would.
Yeah.
You know, they can't have showers, sleep in bed, or work at the workstations because they're just too big.
Could you not build like a human-sized house for them in the North Pole?
No.
Like Santa has a human-sized house.
Santa's the only one with a human-sized house. We have to send all of those guys back. Because, to be fair, we don't want any humans there anyway. It's just when they're a baby that elf and humans are similar sized. But it's just humans grow a lot quicker and a lot longer than elves do. Elves stop growing at 8.
Wow. So you stay the same height you are?
Yes.
Forever?
Forever. Well, not forever.
Yeah. What's like the goal, like, for humans, kind of the like goal heights are like about 6 foot possibly, and what's the ideal height for an elf?
Oh, it's like 5'5" is a proper tall, dark, handsome elf. Yes.
5'5". That's
5'5".
Wow. Well, I'm assuming Buddy was far too tall for that.
Yeah, he was like 6'3".
But
most elves are a lot smaller than that. You got women elves, which are usually about 4'3".
Yeah.
Male
that's
elves.
over a foot difference between male and female elves.
Well, the same with humans.
True.
Females
True.
5'3", males 6'3".
Yeah. Yeah.
And then males tend to range between like 4'5" and 5'5".
Do you like my hat?
It's all right.
I like my hat.
I mean, it's a bit floppy. But
should be
it's
more
not,
like.
I like the bell on it. That is an authentic bell.
Yeah. Do the bells not get really annoying?
No, you just kind of have to learn to block them out.
Because, and also we have in the human world we have Christmas music playing all the time. So, has Mariah Carey started to annoy you yet?
Mariah Carey, who actually wants a person for Christmas? And because of her, we have had so many people send in, I want Jeremy for Christmas. That's not how it works.
Jeremy?
I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I don't care. And you're not getting a person for Christmas, so stop writing it in.
Now, there's all those letters. How can you sort through it in time? Because kids only start writing their letters in like the 1st or 2nd of December.
As soon as they come through the system, they're instantly scanned and their presents are put up.
Oh wow!
Scanning system.
Do you now have a computerized naughty or nice list?
No, it's
still done by hand.
It's in Santa's head.
Does he not write it down?
No, he just knows who's been naughty and he knows who's been nice.
Oh.
He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for good sake. It's true, he does know.
Yeah, that was a lovely song.
Yeah. It's weird, weird how it just broke out into song.
Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah. Well, I think this is the best Time Tunnel TV interview yet.
Yeah, has it?
Yeah. Oh, well, let's just reverse back to this.
Yeah.
What do you think has been the best day of your life so far?
I've probably my first Christmas working as a toy maker.
Yeah.
I achieved a pretty high amount of toys. Got a gold star.
You got a gold star?
Yeah, it was pretty sick. It was real good. Yeah, good day. So that's what set me off to be head toy maker, which is why.
Do you have going way back to one of my earlier questions about the Elf Lives Matter movement? Do you have a union yet for the elves?
We do have a union. It's a recent thing. Santa doesn't know about it yet, but he will do. It's just like a secret group.
Santa doesn't watch TV, does he?
I don't. I've never been in his bedroom, so I don't know if he has a TV or not. But he might do, but I doubt it.
Let's hope that he doesn't watch Time Tunnel TV, because if you've just told him about the union.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Well.
Sorry, Santa. It wasn't my idea. It wasn't my idea.
Your head elf.
It was Jeff's.
Well, no, that's a shame. I quite like that. Yeah, if you've not, but what are the actual working conditions like? Do you have adequate space or?
Well, for every elf who works, we have like a conveyor belt system.
Okay. Is that
parts
for the elves? Do you move along?
No,
the conveyor belts
So
where
we have like a 2 foot by like 2 foot box.
Yeah.
Where you just stand in, like a bit missing at the front, where parts will come in on the conveyor belt, and you just take it off and then you build it, and then when it's done, you just put it back on the conveyor belt.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Lewis's final performance. That was a brilliant interview. I've really enjoyed myself. Have you?
No.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to Lewis now for his final performance.
Have a holly jolly Christmas, and then you walk down the street. Say hello to friends you know, and everyone you meet. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and if you don't and you hear, I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a hold the mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. Oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. The mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. Oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Hello everybody.
Thank you very much, Lewis. That was a fantastic performance.
Thank you.
Now we're going to have... you are good at everything, it's so annoying. Now we're going to play All I Want for Christmas Is You and do some stuff and things. How's that sound?
Pardon? What did you say?
We're gonna play All I Want for Christmas Is You, your least favourite song.
Okay. Right.
And we've also got Henry here for added Christmas benefits. The more the merrier.
Christmas.
It's just one thing I need. You also realise you can do. Oh, we want that.
Underneath the Christmas tree, I just want you for my own. More than you could ever know. Make my wish come true.
Nope, not into this. All I want for Christmas. Oh, I want to.
I don't want a lot for Christmas.
What is this about Googling?
Don't care about the presents
underneath the Christmas tree.
I
What do these actually connect to? Is the question. That's a real question. Just play with your buttons while you're in it.
I just want you for my own. More than you could ever know. Which comes true.
Promoting you.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Oh yeah.
baby, wish for snow. Just wanna see my baby underneath the mess.
Can I stop? Thanks. How long ago was that we stopped?
This is awkward, isn't it? Sam, you can have that one. There we go.
Hello and welcome to Time Tunnel TV. Today with me, your host Jade Rutter. Today we are in the year 1994 when Tim Burton collaborated with Disney to bring out Hello and welcome to Time Tunnel TV. Today with me, your host Jade Rutter. Today we are in the year 1994 when Tim Burton collaborated with Disney to bring out one of the most successful films of all time. We will be joined by the director and producer later in the show. But first, our news with Sam Parkinson.
Thank you, Jade. This year's headlines are Tonya Harding wins the National Figure Skating Championships off the back of an attack on her rival. TLC have released their most successful album, Crazy Sexy Cool, and stay tuned for an announcement on Christmas #1. Tonya Harding has won the first National Figure Skating Championships despite the attack on her rival figure skater Nancy Kerrigan, who was suddenly attacked in Detroit, Michigan on January the 6th after her skating practice. She was hit in the right knee, but fortunately it was not fractured. It was going to be nearly impossible for Kerrigan to complete the US Figure Skating Championships. 4 men, including the ex-husband of Kerrigan's rival Tonya Harding, were later sentenced to prison for the assault. Harding still denies any involvement. Crazy Sexy Cool is the second studio album to be released by American girl group TLC. Released on November the 15th, Crazy Sexy Cool features hip-hop beats, funk deep grooves and smooth production. The album's lyrical content was seen as a departure from the group's debut and was seen as a coming-of-age project which explored themes such as sexuality, romanticism, inexperience and youthful optimism. And finally, Tim Burton has been in works with Walt Disney Studio to collaborate on one of the most successful animated films of all time. And here is Ellen Hamilton to tell you more about the film.
I'm here on the set of Tim Burton's next big thing, The Nightmare Before Christmas, to bring you 3 things that you didn't know about the film. Number 1. Tim Burton originally managed the film to be a television special. He envisioned his take on Christmas could play on television annually. He initially pitched this to TV studios and book publishers. No one took it on until he pitched it as a feature-length film. Number 2. Shooting began before the script was even finished. As soon as Danny Elfman had completed the film's songs, an army of animators, prop makers, set builders and camera operators got to work on making the magic happen. And finally, number 3, Disney fought against Burton for Jack to have eyes. Because of the dark and weird nature of Tim Burton's films, Walt Disney Studios decided it was too off-brand to be released under their banner. Disney claimed that for the puppet to connect with the audience, eyes were crucial, but Tim Burton and Henry Selick wouldn't budge. I think that they ultimately proved that their anti-hero didn't need oculars to connect with the audience, because this is one of Disney's most popular releases ever. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Ellen. You can catch the film in cinemas on November the 25th. Finally, in music news, our Christmas #1 is 1994 is East 17 with Stay Another Day, which has let us see into Tony Mortimer's life with his deep lyrics and about his brother's suicide. Here at Time Tunnel TV, we give it a thumbs up, and he's given us a Christmas classic for decades to come. Back to you, Jade.
Thank you, Sam. East 17's classic has me swaying away every time. So today we're going to be talking to the man himself, Tim Burton, but just in case you're not clued in, here's an insight into his career.
Now, you probably wondered where holidays come from. If you haven't, I'd say it's time you begun.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. This our town of Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night.
Tim Burton is an American film director, film producer, writer and artist praised for his weird and wonderful mind. Burton started his career by drawing concept art for Walt Disney Studios. Whilst at Disney in 1982, Burton made his first short, Vincent, a 6-minute black and white stop-motion film. Burton's big break was when he was chosen to direct Pee-wee's Big Adventure, 1985, in which he worked with Danny Elfman for the first time. Burton received his next big project in 1988, Beetlejuice, in which he worked with Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton. The film grossed $80 million and won an Academy Award for Best Makeup. Burton's ability to produce box office hits with low budget impressed studio executives, and he received his first ever big budget film, Batman, in 1989. Burton chose to cast Michael Keaton as Batman following their collaboration in Beetlejuice, and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. The film grossed $250 million in the US alone and $400 million worldwide. It also won an Academy Award for Best Art Direction. Burton also agreed to the 1992 sequel, Batman Returns. In 1990, Burton wrote and directed Edward Scissorhands, reuniting with Winona Ryder and working with his friend Johnny Depp. Edward Scissorhands is considered one of Burton's best movies, and it raked in a worldwide total of $86.02 million. Next, Burton wrote, produced, but could not direct due to schedule clashes with Batman Returns, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It is based on Burton's own original story, world and characters. The film grossed $50 million and renewed an interest in stop-motion animation.
Hit it, boys.
In 2005, Burton released Corpse Bride, featuring Johnny Depp as Victor and Helena Bonham Carter as Emily, a part created specifically for her. The film grossed $53 million in the US and $117 million worldwide. Burton again was able to express his weird and wonderful worlds. After this, Burton worked with The Killers to direct his first ever music video for their song Bones in 2006. A year later, in 2007, Burton's work on Sweeney Todd won him the National Board of Review Award for Best Director, and he received a Golden Globe nomination. He worked with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter again on this production. He continued to work with the two on Alice in Wonderland 2010, Dark Shadows 2012, and Alice Through the Looking Glass 2016. In 2017, Burton is working on the live-action remake of the Disney classic Dumbo, and we can't wait to see his amazing mind at work again.
I think it's time now to talk to the man himself so we can give a warm Time Tunnel TV welcome to Tim Burton. Hiya Tim. Hiya, you alright?
Yes, yes.
Good. Mr. Burton, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you must be busy.
I'm happy to be here.
Good. So let's start right at the beginning with this interview. Were you interested in macabre right at the beginning as a child?
Yes, I was interested in it. The creature from the Black Lagoon was my main interest to start off with, and that was kind of what got me into it, really, I'd say.
Well, growing up, were you different to those in your school?
Yeah, it was hard being an outsider. I didn't fit in as well as I would have maybe liked to, but I got through it in the end.
As a child, that must be really hard to grow up by yourself.
Yeah, well, I wasn't alone. I always had the characters from my films, but it was okay. I managed to get through it.
Talking about your films, so when did your skills first get recognised?
It was when I was, I think I'd say it was about 9th grade. I just made a film, and then it was noticed by one of the teachers who sent it to one of their friends, and then it just went from there, and it was sent around, and people started to notice it.
Wow, that's a great story of talent recognition, very unusual. And back in 1982, you made Vincent, your first short film. Can you tell us a little bit about that, how that came about?
Yeah, it was actually me and a friend thought up of the idea, and then it was quite a tough film to make, but we kind of involved a lot of my ideas, and then he helped with some of the drawings sometimes, and it just went from there.
I know you worked with one of your childhood heroes on the film, which must have been amazing to work with someone like that, and it won you some awards as well, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and it wouldn't have been possible without Vincent.
You obviously travel a lot with your job too, so where is your favourite place to go when you go travelling?
I'd have to say London. It's just so unique. Like, I used to live in California, and the weather was always sunny and always the same. However, in London it's so unpredictable, and it's just different to what I'm used to, so I prefer it in London.
Well, you can definitely bet that you've got unpredictable weather here in London. And Beetlejuice was a very popular film that you did, and did you expect it to do so well and receive well from the audience?
No, I didn't expect it to go that well. It was just another one of the films that I had made, and I just thought it'd just do as well as the others, but it turned out that people used to like it more, and yeah, it grew and grew into what it is now.
And then with your other film, Edward Scissorhands, did you always know that you wanted to cast Johnny Depp, or did you have to audition for it?
No, actually, I didn't. We were just auditioning, and then he came along for the audition, and I liked some of his stuff, and then we progressed through the auditions, and he got cut down to the final group, and then he just happened to be the one we ended up choosing. But I was very happy with my choice.
Good, as were we all. And you've said before that you've always been intrigued by holidays, and Edward Scissorhands, the plot is based around Christmas, so why is it that you're so intrigued by holidays?
Well, I grew up in a very sparse society, and it was very different to what a lot of people nowadays would be used to. So holidays were like a really new concept, and I just thought that they were something that were really interesting to write about, and a lot of people would enjoy listening to.
Well, we sure do enjoy listening and watching your films about holidays, and I do believe you have prepared something for us at TTTV today.
Yes.
And you're going to read out a short monologue that you have wrote for us here, so please welcome Lewis reading a short monologue that inspired his film The Nightmare Before Christmas.
It was late one fall in Halloween land, and the air had quite a chill. Against the moon, a skeleton sat, alone upon a hill. He was tall and thin, with a bat bow tie. Jack Skellington was his name. He was tired and bored in Halloween land. Everything was the same. I'm sick of the scaring, the terror, the fright. I'm tired of being something that goes bump in the night. I'm bored with my leering, horrible glances. My feet hurt from those skeleton dances. I don't like graveyards. I need something new. There must be more to life than just yelling, boo. Then came out from a grave with a curl and a twist, came a whimpering, whining spectacle mist. It was a little ghost dog with a faint little bark, and a jack-o'-lantern nose that glowed in the dark. It was Jack's dog Zero, the best friend he had, but Jack hardly noticed, which made Zero sad. All that night and through the next day, Jack wandered and walked. He was filled with dismay.
That was Tim Burton with an extract of his poem, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which has inspired the next motion picture. The animated classic is in cinemas November 25th. Here is the trailer.
Welcome to an extraordinary world filled with magic and wonder. Open your mind and let yourself go to a place where every day is Halloween and every night Jack Skellington
I am the Pumpkin King!
dreams of something different.
What is this? It's someplace new.
Jack, look out!
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair. What is this?
Haven't you heard of peace on earth and goodwill toward men?
Touchstone Pictures presents the enchanting story of two very special dreamers and the holiday spirit that brought them together. From the imagination of Tim Burton comes The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And what did Santa bring you, honey?
I can't wait to hear about the work that went into this film. We're back with Tim Burton here at TTTV. Thank you for reading your poem just then, it was beautiful.
You're welcome.
So now we get to talk about the film that we've just seen the trailer for. And first question, are you excited for it?
Yes, I'm very excited. It's, I'd say, the most excited I've ever been for the release of one of my films.
So what is this film about then?
Well, I'm not very good at describing films, but I'll give it a go. It's based around the holiday time, and it's where there's lots of different worlds, and all the worlds are created and tried to be put together. And in one of the worlds, there's a town called Halloween Land with a leader called Jack Skellington, and he discovers that he isn't happy in the world he's in, so he's going to try and put them together and make better of his world by creating a bigger and better one mixed with all others.
Well, it sounds amazing. I can't wait to watch it fully and enjoy it all the time. So, and obviously you've used stop motion to create this film, and is that a struggle that you found?
Yes, I've worked with plasticine over the years, and it's worked, but it's been a lot of time and effort. All the little facial emotions and all the little different details that have to be changed every single shot. It can be tiring and repetitive, but I'd say the outcome in the end is worth it.
Definitely worth it. And we hear earlier in our new segment that you wanted it to be a TV special at first, not a feature-length film.
Yeah, I actually tried publishing it, or pitching it to television first. However, they weren't accepting of it, so I then ended up going for a book, and I pitched it to a book company, and they said that they weren't happy with it either, so I ended up pitching it as a film, and they were happy with it, and they thought they could really work on it, and it took off from there.
So you've had the idea for a long time then?
Yes, I'd say I've had the idea for at least 20 years or so now.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's just been sat waiting to be produced, and then that was it. Finally had its break.
So back to the stop motion, making it through a plasticine, and each individual scene was like that. What was the most difficult thing to film?
As I say, it'd probably be the facial emotions, because all the characters have such wide, varied emotions, and every single emotion obviously needs to have a shot for the change of emotion and how they get from, say, frown into smile, and the movement in the face. So it takes a long time, and I'd say that's probably one of the hardest things to do.
So Disney had the were in the film, and were they quite controlling about what you could do with the film and what you couldn't?
Yes, I did end up getting quite frustrated with Disney about how much they wouldn't let me do. I had a lot more ideas for the film, but they just kind of kept saying no and turning my ideas away. So yeah, I'd say it was a real eye-opener, and I may not be focusing on working with them again.
And finally, is there anything that you would like to say to your fans or aspiring filmmakers as advice to give to them?
Just keep going at it and enjoy. If you enjoy what you do, then that's the best thing, and just keep going no matter what people say. Obviously, I was turned away a few times, and if you get turned away, carry on. Just don't ever give up. You'll make it. It will get there one day.
That is some fantastic advice from such a strong character there. And so, Tim, you did work for Disney at the start of your career, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I do remember working for Disney.
And so let's take a look back at your time at Disney. Here's a video from Tim Burton with Rich Heinrichs at Walt Disney Studios back in 1982.
Tim and I have been working on developing some live action as well as animation projects at Disney. We've developed this guy for a Halloween-oriented project which Tim designed the characters for and conceptualized.
Well, basically, the way that we work is that I'll do a drawing, something like this, and from that, Rick will make a sculpture of it, like this, and then beyond that point, whatever medium we use, in this case, is building a costume. The process continues that way. I'll do a drawing, something like this, and then Rick will do a sculpture, and then from there it would be built into a live set.
Another project that Tim and I worked on together was an experiment with stop-motion animation for which I took Tim's designs and created puppets in three-dimensional sets.
It's basically the story of a little boy who thinks that he's Vincent Price. And it was initially a children's book, but Rick and I made it then into a film. And it comes from my childhood experiences, and as I had sort of a identification, I thought, with Vincent Price, and that I really responded to his torment and anguish and insanity. So these are some of the characters he has to deal with in the film. Here's his aunt and his mother, and as you can see, they don't have heads, but that was part of it from the child's point of view. We never went much past their shoulders. And this was his beautiful wife that haunted him, and his little dog Abercrombie, whom he tormented from time to time. Those are just a few of the things he has to deal with in the film.
For the animation, there was different ways we could have handled it, and we did both bending wire armatures to make the characters move, as well as replacement animation, which is what this represents. Here is a cycle of a walking cat, and we would just simply replace the body over the legs for each of the separate phases through the 24 frames a second of film, and that gave the illusion of the cat walking along the wall in the film.
Our current project is for the Studio Showcase on the Disney Channel, and it's a retelling of Hansel and Gretel, and it basically follows the same story as Hansel and Gretel, just with different elements. We're going to be using, it's going to be in live action with some stop-motion animation and some puppets. And again, it follows the story pretty much. There's the gingerbread house, the witch, and the ovens, two kids who are dumped by their stepmother into the forest. Father, instead of a woodcutter, as he's in the story, is a toy maker. And he creates a whole bunch of different kinds of toys that figure out throughout the film. Each toy has its own look and its own movement and sound personality. And besides all that, there's a new character in Hansel and Gretel.
I'm Dan, the gingerbread man, and I'm made entirely out of candy.
So we've been given some more time with Tim Burton here to ask him. I can ask him more questions about The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I'm so excited about. And what I really want to know is, Jack, your main character in the film, is he based on anyone?
I'd say really he's based around me. He's got a lot of the characteristics I have. Obviously, I'm not a skeleton, but not on the outside anyway. And he's got a lot of the characteristics I have, so yeah.
And Oogie Boogie is part of the film. Where did he come from?
He's an embodiment of, I'd say, Halloween and all things spooky, really.
Yeah. Well, he's a great character. And you worked with Danny Elfman again on this. You've worked with him previously. And is he your go-to man for Sound of Music then?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. He's very good at making musical masterpieces, and all the music he does is all high quality and just what you need for the films, I'd say. And he is my go-to guy.
And did you want to have a cameo character in your film? Other than Johnny Depp and the other main characters that are involved?
Not really. I'd say the characters, I'd say they're better as they are. And other than being chosen through, say, interviews and stuff, they wouldn't need specifically choosing for a film. I'd rather just have anyone who suits the role when we go through interviews.
Would you consider this to be your best film yet?
No, I wouldn't say so. If Disney had let me put the parts in that I'd have liked to put in, I'd say it could have a strong chance, but up to now, no, I wouldn't say it was my favourite.
And is there anything else that you plan to do in the future more? Like, is there anything you're planning other to do? Because you said that you had this in your head for 20 years. Have you got other things going on?
I do have other stories written. They may or may not come into films or TV or whatever. In my spare time, I like to write stories, so that's what I do for most of it. And I'll always have stories ready if anyone wants to make them.
And your film, The Corpse Bride, is a very great film. And what do you prefer about The Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride? Because they're very similar sort of.
Yeah, I'd say The Nightmare Before Christmas is just, it's more my focus, and because obviously I had it for so long, it was just something that I really wanted to do, and it's so diverse, and I'd already planned everything. The Corpse Bride was kind of like more of a closer, shorter time scale thing, so I'd say that's probably the biggest change.
And now, as I'm very excited, and everyone else should be, you can see The Nightmare Before Christmas at November 25th in cinemas, and we're going to have a great performance now by Henry Home. But it was great talking to you, Tim. Thank you very much for coming on TTTV. And I've been Jade Rutter. It's been a great show. And dancing us out is Henry Home.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize, but I don't think we should. A spooky, scary skeleton shouts startling, shrilly screams. They'll sneak under sarcophagus and just won't leave you be. Skeleton. Spooky, scary skeletons will wake you with a
Hi, welcome to Time Tunnel TV. I'm Sam Parkinson and our top story today is 14 people have been killed in a mine blast in China. I'll be back later in the show with the rest of the news. Come on.
Hello, I am Jade Rutter. Also today we will be joined by Academy Award winning actor Tom Hanks on his new Christmas movie The Polar Express, in which he voices 6 characters, and we have 2 very special performances from our special guest Kelis Matthews. But first we're going over to Amy Taylor, who was previously in Leicester Square, London at the time of the premiere for The Polar Express.
Hello, I am here in London, just outside the premiere for The Polar Express, and I can most certainly say that Christmas has definitely come early this year. Everyone has their Christmas hats at the ready, waiting.
I nearly said Kelsey.
To arrive. Today's excitement follows the arrival of actor Tom Hanks, who is expected to make his entrance any moment now. The streets are being filled with the sound of Christmas carolers who are beckoning the arrival of the man himself. Awaiting patiently, a group of eager school kids are dressed as miniature Santas in order to give the cast one hell of a magical evening. With songs, laughter and fun all around, this premiere is expected to go down without a hitch, and surely the cast and crew will feel the all-round positivity and Christmas spirit. Have a wonderful Christmas season to everyone here, and now back to you.
Very shortly I will be being joined by none other than Tom Hanks himself, but first it's time for our first performance. Here to sing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Michael Bublé is Kelis Matthews.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. So hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
That was great, Khalees. Thank you. We will hear another song from her later, but now, before I welcome him to the stage, here's a short documentary on the life of Tom Hanks so far.
Well, you coming?
Children sleeping, snow is softly falling, dreams are calling, like bells in the distance. We were dreamers not so long ago, but one by one we all had to grow up. When it seems the magic slipped away, we find it all again on Christmas Day. Believe in what your heart is saying, hear the melody that's playing. There's no time to waste, there's so much to celebrate. Believe in what you feel inside and give your dreams the wings to fly. You have everything you need if you just believe.
What a great man, and I am now joined by the one and only Tom Hanks.
Well, thank you.
Hi Tom, nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you ever so much for joining us here at Time Tunnel TV.
It's a pleasure.
So last year on the show we were talking about the release of Forrest Gump. It has since made it up to the top highest rated film on IMDb with a rating of 8.8, which now means you have 3 films in the top 50.
Wow.
It's great.
I'm quite honoured.
Yeah. And how many awards is it you have won for that? At this point, is it 5 or 6?
I believe it's 6, and I was nominated for another 4 for the film. But yeah, I was very happy with how that film came out, because obviously the previous year I won the Oscar for Best Actor in the film Philadelphia. So knowing that in 1994 I got the same acclaim, it was, you know, a good year for me.
And those awards include 3 Golden Globes, a BAFTA, and 6 Academy Awards, am I right?
You've been doing your research.
I predict big things for the Polar Express then. What made you decide to go for this film, and not only for 1 role, but 6?
Well, the 6 roles I'll discuss in a bit, but I've always been a fan of Christmas, you know. Everyone loves Christmas. It's the most festive time of the year. I used to always remember doing the tree with my family, putting the tinsel on. Well, obviously, I can't use that tinsel anymore because it was toxic, because how you used to manufacture it. But yeah, I just love the Christmas spirit, you know, sitting down with your family, having, your roast and that. It was just a wonderful time. And then when Bob gave me the call, the director, he said, "Do you want to be part of my Christmas film?" I said, "Well, yeah, why not?" I said, "What's it about?" And then he said it was based off a book by Chris Van Allsburg. I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." I was like, what roles am I going to play? And when it said 6, I was like, "Are you off your head? Am I 6 roles? I can." But I looked over the script and went, "You know what? I can do this." And yeah, that's how I came about the role.
And for the people at home, which 6 roles was it in the film that you did?
Well, give me a minute, because, you know, 6 is quite a few. Well, I played the hero boy, the hero boy's father. I played a hobo. I played Santa Claus, you know, Sandy Santa. I played the conductor, most notably. That's what probably people know me from that film, if you've seen it already. Yeah, and I also played Ebenezer Scrooge, you know, the infamous Dickens character.
Quite a range then.
And yeah, quite a range. And I also played the hero boy in the future, narrating on the film, but I think I might have stopped there unless I spoiled the film, because obviously I want you all to watch it.
Yeah. And as you mentioned previously before, that it is an adaptation of a book, that's right?
Yes, it is, by Chris Van Allsburg, who was also the executive producer on the film. You know, talented man.
And as many people say, don't ever work with kids, but how was it like working alongside children?
Well, it wasn't bad, actually. You know, they're quite fun. They got a lot of energy in them. But I remember one story, quite funny, actually. I was with Josh Hutcherson was sitting on my lap, and accidentally, while I opened it was, he passed gas onto my lap. Quite amusing, but I hope it was an accident.
And the film is quite impressive, may I say, costing a massive $165 million to make. I'm pretty sure it's the first ever all-digital capture film, which is incredible. And so can you tell us about the plot of the film a bit more?
Well, yes, I can tell you about the plot of the film. It's about the hero boy, and he doesn't have, well, he's losing his belief in Santa Claus, which I think all kids should still have a belief in. And one night, Christmas Eve, he sees a train outside his window. The Polar Express is called. And then he gets onto the train, got on by the conductor, that was played by myself. And on the train he meets a little girl, and the know-it-all kid, the one, well, yeah, his name says it all, he knows everything. And then we're on the train, and I pressed the emergency stop button to let on Billy, the lonely child of the film, to get on the, train.
And I think we actually have a short VT of clips from the film now to look at, so we can see them now.
Okay, thank you.
This is the Polar Express!
I'm wishing on a star and trying to believe that even though it's far, you'll find me Christmas Eve. I guess that Santa's busy, 'cause he's never come around. I think of him when Christmas comes to town. The best time of the year, whenever everyone comes home with all this Christmas cheer. It's hard to be alone, putting up the Christmas tree with friends who come around. It's so much fun when Christmas comes to town. Presents for the children, wrapped in red and green. All the things I've heard about, but never really seen. No one will be sleeping on the night of Christmas Eve, hoping Santa's on his way. When Santa's sleigh bells ring, I listen all around. The herald angels sing, I never hear a sound. And all the dreams of children once lost will all be found. That's all I want when Christmas comes to town. That's all I want when Christmas comes to town.
Well, you coming?
That was such a moving song.
Thank you.
It was beautiful. And can you tell us the meaning behind it?
Well, the song was sung by Josh Groban, and it's a song about Billy, the lonely kid, as he's titled in the credits. And it's basically about the youngest. He's the youngest of the children, and it's kind of a sad but happy song about him, because it's the most festive time of the year, but he doesn't have that festive spirit. So it's kind of meant to be somewhat, it's meant to be moving, but also to give people, you know, the drive to believe in the Christmas spirit.
And how would this affect the audience, do you think, in the film?
Well, like I said, he's the youngest kid, and you know, naturally, the youngest kid, children in general, you feel sorry for them, and it's the most festive time of the year, so you expect kids to be enjoying it, you know, smiling, you know, drinking hot chocolate, you know, and all that sort of stuff.
And there are many songs throughout the entire film, and which do you believe in years will become most associated with the Polar Express?
I do believe that, well, Believe Itself will be quite popular in the future, but I think the song I sung myself with a children's choir, the Polar Express, the theme, you could say, will probably last the longest as it, you know, the theme of the film.
And are there any other songs, like you've just said, that you did sing with the children's choir? Are there any others in the film that you sang?
Yes, there was. I did the Hot Chocolate song, probably my favourite to do.
It's a great song.
And it's a wonderful scene in the movie. It puts a smile on your face, you know.
So going back to the actual film itself, is the train modelled after any specific type of model or real train?
I believe it is. I believe it's called, sorry for my pronunciation here, it's a French train. It's called the Pierre Morant 1225, I believe. Yeah.
And that spent many years on display in Michigan, if I remember correctly.
Indeed it did.
Thank you very much. We are now going to go over to our second performance, which is Ellen and Beth's version of Fairy Tale of New York. Take it away.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. An old man said to me, won't see another one. And then he sang a song, the rare old mountain tune. I turned my face away and dreamed about you. Got on a lucky one, came in 18 to 1. I've got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas, I love you, baby. I can see a better time when all our dreams come true.
They got cars big as bars, they got rivers of gold, but the windows right through you, it's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas Eve, you promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome,
You were pretty queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, they held out for more.
Sinatra was swinging, all the drunks they were singing. We kissed on a corner, then danced through the night. The boys of the NYPD choir were singing, "Go away, babe," and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. You're a bum, you're a punk,
You're an old slut and junk lying there almost dead on a drip in that bed.
you scumbag, you maggot, you cheap, lousy faggot. Happy Christmas, you're ours, I pray God it's our love.
The boys of the NYPD choir still singing, "Go away, babe," and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day. I could have been someone.
Well, so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when I first found you.
I kept them with me, babe. I put them with my own. Can't make it all alone. I built my dreams around you. The boys of the NYPD choir still singing, "Go away, babe," and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
Wasn't that beautiful? And now we're going to play a small Christmas trivia game, but we're going to need another player. So joining us is our camera operator and just performed, Ellen Hamilton.
Hiya.
Thank you for joining us, Ellen. And I would like you both to make buzzers for this game, please. Just a bit of fun. Go on, Tom, you head us off.
I'll go for Yahoo.
Great one. And Ellen?
I'm going to go for... Woo!
Strong, strong.
I'm quite
I like
competitive, by the way. I don't like losing. Quite a pound down.
And the first question is, Christmas is celebrated on the 25th of December, but who is the patron saint remembered on the 26th of December, Boxing Day?
Yahoo.
Go on, Tom.
Stephen.
Correct.
Thank you.
And every elf has an object on the tip of their shoes. What is this object?
That would be a bell, Jade.
You're correct. We both. Good start, guys. Good start. And what colour are the berries on mistletoe?
Yahoo. Red.
Incorrect, Tom.
You gotta be joking me.
We're going to have to pass that over to Ellen.
They're white.
Oh.
Come on, Tom.
They've changed it.
How many points does a snowflake have?
Whoa. That one would be 6.
6.
I'm
Correct
getting bad
again.
here.
Now,
Not liking this.
you can work together on this one if you need to. But we will name all the reindeers in Santa's sleigh. Santa's sleigh.
Well, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer.
That's the one.
Madonna? That's very nice.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We got it?
Great. Well done, guys. I think you got all of them there. Yep. And in the song Fairy Tale of New York, what are the NYPD choir singing?
Yahoo. Galway Bay.
Correct. Straight in there, Tom. The red and white costume of Father Christmas was allegedly first introduced by which drinks manufacturer?
Woo! That one would be Coca-Cola.
You are correct. She got there before you, Tom. Who once stole Christmas?
Yahoo. The Grinch.
Great. You both did very well on that quiz there. Thank you very much for taking part. It's been a pleasure having you here, Ellen. Thanks. Now please may you leave and do your job. And I'm very much looking forward to watching The Polar Express now it's been released in cinema, Tom.
Well, I do hope you enjoy it. Hey, you know, it's going to be a new Christmas family film.
And it's been a pleasure having you here. I've loved talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
We are now going to go over to Sam Parkinson, who has all the news from this year.
Thank you, Jade. Our main story today. 14 people have been killed in a coal mine blast in China's western province of Shan, in the latest disaster to hit the world's deadliest mining industry. Of the 17 miners underground when the accidental happened early on Sunday, only 3 survived, but each are being treated for injuries. Coal provides the main fuel for China's booming economy, but the industry has an appalling safety record with more than 5,200 people killed in accidents so far this year. It is still unclear what has caused it. On January the 4th, NASA's Mars rover landed safely on the Red Planet. After a 7-month voyage from Earth to Space Agency, probe Spirit landed safely on the surface of Mars. Within hours of arriving, it sent back its first images of the Red Planet's barren, rock-strewn landscape. On July the 3rd, Hollywood screen legend Marlon Brando died. Brando was famous for his roles in On the Waterfront and The Godfather. He was aged 80 and died in Los Angeles hospital. On November the 2nd, US President George W. Bush won a second term in office. After an election campaign that was too close to call, Bush defeated challenger John Kerry in the presidential election. Bush secured a strong mandate for the American people by winning not only the Electoral College vote, but the popular vote too. That's all from the news segment. Thank you all for watching and Merry Christmas from me. And to the rest of the team here in the studio, back to you, Jade.
Thank you, Sam. That's all we have time for today here in 2004, but tune in next time for even more. We hope you have a great Christmas and a very happy New Year. Now playing us out is Khalees Matthews with her second performance of the night. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas by Michael Bublé. Take it away.
Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look in them 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes. The glow is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Bonnie and Ben. Dolls that will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door.
Thank you very much, Khalees. That was beautiful. And now it's a massive goodbye from us at Time Tunnel TV for the whole of the year. But don't worry, we'll be back in 2018 of December for some more shows. It's been such a great ride, and we've had lots of characters being on this show. Some from all the way from Tom Hanks to fictional characters like Ramsay Bolton. We've had some great shows, some not so great shows, and lots of others. But we'd like to thank Alex and Chelsea, and especially Lewis Oldknow for helping this show. It wouldn't be the same without you guys. And we've started with Henry, finishing all the way to Amy's show. It's been a great time, and we can't wait to see what's going to happen. There's been 59 shows, and we'll see the same next year. Over 24 hours of TV has been broadcasted live on YouTube, and we hope you've enjoyed every second of it. Thank you very much, and goodbye from us.